Welcome, Resa, for our next session of the WaiTUTORIal. Thanks a lot for joining us and presenting for us a very, very important topic here in AI for marketing in particular, and you have a lot of experience there, and it's great to have this series there. You are the third presenter, and we have one more next week. And all this will be on the YouTube channel as well, if you would like. This is the WaiTUTORIal is one of the opportunities and the events that we are having in Women in Ireland in particular, with other things that if you'd like to know more, have a look at our website and our LinkedIn account. Just for today, just a very quick introduction. Resa, you're going to talk about AI-driven personalization in marketing, and you have been working as a HubSpot partner for a long time, and to actually to scale up to 7+ partners globally. So that should be very interesting on your experience in the world of marketing and how you can use AI. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really humbled by this opportunity to share my knowledge and experiences in this dynamic field of AI and marketing. I will just share my screen so you can see my presentation. Great. So as we kick off this discussion, I would love to share with you a little bit about myself, so you know exactly what my background is and why it is I am here today to speak to you about this esteemed topic. So first of all, you may realize I have an accent. That's because I am from Trinidad and Tobago. It's a tiny island in the Caribbean, very south of the Caribbean islands, close to Venezuela. So I promise to speak slowly today so you can understand everything I'm about to share. I have also been the past co-founder of a top-tier marketing agency that was ranked in the top 5% of the HubSpot partner ecosystem. And I've also been one of the top female founders within a partner ecosystem of 7,000 agencies. I also wrote this book. It's the first self-help manual book on HubSpot. It's available on Amazon, but it really is for somebody who you think has HubSpot, needs to know how to manage HubSpot and improve that system better. So it's one of those manuals that really take you through how to set up HubSpot and the best practices of maintaining the system. So today I'm working with HubSpot because I recently sold my agency. And I decided, okay, what am I going to do with all of this HubSpot knowledge? Might as well join HubSpot. But I am here working on the partner ecosystem, and I do help HubSpot scale some of its services to its partner as it continues to grow. So as we go on for today, I wanted to make sure that you understand what we will discuss and to set the stage of what you can expect in today's presentation. So at first, I would like to kick off about reminding us the power of personalization. We shop every single day, so we know what we like and we know when we feel attached to certain brands or certain experiences. So I want to remind us why that happens and the power of personalization. I will then get into what is AI in marketing and how that has actually transformed marketing in most recent years. And then I want to give you some tips and strategies of how we can use AI to create more tailored campaigns for our customers. I would also like to spend some time deep diving into some case studies and some success stories that will be most familiar to us, as we have been shoppers and we do shop every single day and interact with brands, but we need to highlight which brands are really using AI successfully. And because AI is mostly successful with B2C brands right now, and this whole concept of power of personalization is really done well in B2C brands, I would like to spin off and actually show B2B companies as well how they can use AI as well to engage their B2B customers. And we will wrap up by talking about the future trends in personalization and how we should not forget that even in this tech-driven world, there must be a human touch that has to be maintained in order for us to really enjoy the powers of personalization and marketing. So let's get started. So as I go on to talk about the power of personalization, I want to share with you, first of all, that we have to recognize that personalization is a very important part of our existence here as B2C customers and as everyday consumers of brands. Personalization has been around for probably the last decade or two, so it's not new, but what do we really mean by personalization? So let's get into a couple ways how personalization really affects us as consumers and even how it affects businesses. So first of all, on the consumer side, we know that when we have an experience that is very personalized, when we see brands showing us things that are interesting for us and not just any product or any service, we feel a sense of uniqueness, we feel a sense of exclusivity, and we feel valued and understood because we feel that, hey, this brand gets me. I don't expect to walk into Starbucks and end up seeing drinks like Coca-Cola or frizzy drinks too much. When I get to this, my favorite stores, and when I get to my favorite brands, I want to see things that I relate to and that I like. And these brands have to know exactly what it is that they can expect and what you should expect coming from them. We also see that these brands are also interested in making us feel more intimate and personalized. We want to have that kind of experience that really makes us have customer satisfaction and loyalty. We know today, for example, when we shop on Amazon, we know what we shop for, we get, and we also want to be able to know that it's an easy experience for us to shop on Amazon. That's why even though sometimes we would like to think we don't want to support such a big giant and we want to support the local suppliers, it is very easy for us to fall back into that habit of going back on Amazon to shop, because the minute we open Amazon, we begin to see products that actually are related to our last purchases or our browsing history. So now we are attached to that brand and we feel more comfortable going to them and shopping. We also know that once we have a personalized experience shopping, we feel a stronger emotional connection between the brand and the consumer. So we now feel like, okay, this brand gets us and we want to buy it each time. You know, it's not by chance that your kids are asking to buy Nike shoes every minute. The reason why they want their Nike shoes is because they feel attached to the brand. They feel attached to what the brand represents. You know, the brand is all about sports. It's all about high achievers. It's all about accomplishment. So when your kids are asking you for Nike sneakers, it's because they're also asking you for that reconnection that they have with the brand. On the business side, we see that personalization is helping businesses anticipate consumer needs. You have to realize as a business, you don't want to be stocking products that no one else is going to purchase. You don't necessarily want to be offering products that nobody else wants. So when you have a personalized experience, you understand what your consumer wants at the time that they're asking for it. And therefore, you can target your offerings in a more intimate way and therefore make sure you're increasing that conversion and getting more repeat sales. For a business as well, personalization helps us to build trust and build credibility. You would like to hang out with people who know you best. You don't always like to hang out with people who don't get you. So therefore, it's the same as shopping. When you go to a store over and over again, you go to that store because you trust that store is going to give you exactly what you want. When you walk into Starbucks and you order your Frappuccino, cookies and cream, which is one of my daughter's favorite drinks, she knows every single time she gets into Starbucks, she's going to get the exact same drink, made the exact same way, with the exact same quality, regardless of which Starbucks she goes throughout the world. So that trust and that credibility that these brands are able to give us is what we like, you know, in the whole area of personalization. And what happens from that, these businesses experience brand advocacy and they experience positive, you know, word of mouth as their consumers will continue to talk about why it is they're so good. So when you walk into your favorite coffee shop and you order your coffee, and before you even get there next morning, she says, hey, Resa, regular, right? Cappuccino, extra hot with chocolate on the top. Now you know this is your favorite coffee shop and you don't want to go anywhere else and buy coffee because of that personalized experience. And last but not least, you know, as a business, we experience personalization and we use it mainly to break through the clutter and establish that competitive edge we need to have in the marketplace. We don't want to be left behind, and we know that our consumers are becoming very sophisticated. The tricks and trends we used 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and even sometimes 2 years ago are no longer relevant for the consumers who are now much more savvy in their purchasing options. So we have to match them as businesses and ensure that we are giving them timely, targeted consumer experiences when they want it and how they want it. So when we look at the role of AI in transforming these marketing strategies, I have 5 main steps that I think we should really consider when considering AI for marketing. The first is all about data analysis and insights. We really need to learn how to use our data much better and in a much more comparative way to be able to better understand our customer segments. We have to be able to segment the audience so we can create better targeted marketing campaigns. What will work for John may not work for Paul and definitely will not work for Betty. So we definitely need to create those personas and use our data to analyze where our different segments are coming from and what they're wanting in different times. We also know that when we get that data and analyze it, we then can use personalization to sort of predict our customer preferences and purchasing patterns. There is no mistake that when you go on Amazon, you see more of the stuff that you have been browsing for and more suggestions about the things you've been looking for. Example, I love Audible, and whenever I go on my Audible app to read my book or choose my next book, it is so exactly suggestions they're giving me because they understand the type of theory or the type of themes of books that I'm looking to read. So this level of personalization has to be encompassed in your marketing strategy. How do you give your consumers more of what they're interested in? The third step of really using AI is about automation. You cannot rely on doing things manually. You cannot rely on showing up all the time to actually do the work that you are expected to do and to provide the products and services to your consumers on the time if you're not online. So a lot of this has to be done automatically. You have to use automation, not just to handle the repetitive tasks, but even to optimize your advertising budget. So again, when you're browsing Facebook or you're on LinkedIn or you're even on Google, the ads that you see coming up for you are ads that are relevant to your search history and to the things that you have been browsing on before and looking at. So when you see more and more of that, it's because automation is facilitating that level of search. The last is about using it for enhanced customer service. You have probably experienced now when you go to most websites, you will have an experience with some type of AI-powered chatbots. I mean, just the other day, I'm calling Bank of Ireland, and I am going through the system of course, dial 1, press 1 for this, press 1 for that. But the whole experience was with an AI-powered chatbot. So once I punched in my relevant details and punched in my different requests, I had a whole conversation with a chatbot that answered my question without me having to speak to an individual. So this is what the type of customer service AI-powered chatbots can help give. So you don't have to rely on so much human help, and again, having human help available at the time the consumers want it. So it's really around the clock, no matter what time of day and experience it is. The last thing is about using it for predictive analytics. So again, it's slightly different from where we started, right? We started with understanding our existing data, but this step 5 is really talking about how to predict the future, how to understand what are the upcoming trends, how to understand what are the upcoming outcomes of the historical data that has been input. So again, when you look at systems and websites like Amazon, they have ability to now understand what is going to be needed coming up from the searches and the browsing history and the purchase patterns of past consumers to know what they should get ready for stocking. So it's also looking at economic trends. So for example, we know now Halloween is coming up. Everybody's interested in costumes, or they're interested in decorations for their houses. So you would suddenly see a lot of, Amazon showing you ads about different costumes and different Halloween products you can purchase. So this is what predictive analytics is helping these businesses do, like understand what to stock and what to focus on as the trends and everything improve and get better. So here I want to spend some time talking about how exactly do the algorithms work in order to analyze the user behavior to extract valuable insights. We hear a lot of talk about AI, and we hear a lot of talk about using it for our marketing strategies, but I do think we don't really understand how it works sometimes in the back end. So I'll take you through a sort of simple process, very simplified process. I'm not an engineer. I never built any AI systems, but I have done enough reading and research and using these systems to understand how it works. So I'll share with you some of these insights now about what it takes to really run an AI system correctly. So first, there's a data collection part, right? The system has to work with some type of data, whether it's data that it inputs or whether you upload or however you collect that data. There is a step that there will be some data collection and some data passing for the AI tools to understand what is relevant here. Then there's a process of really data pre-processing. So the pre-processing of the data means that they're actually going to start segmenting the data in different ways. So whether they look at it in country size, whether they look at it in time size, whatever different segments they need the data in, or you need the data in, it's how the AI tool will start analyzing and pre-processing that data for you before the real analysis begins. The third step is, once that data has been pre-processed, organized, there will be some analysis done. So there's a rough analysis done now where it's going to look at specific trends, specific outcomes, specific patterns that are really occurring in that analysis. And then it goes into deeper pattern recognition. So it wants to show you exactly what are the different trends you can expect, or the different behaviors that you can expect from the consumers that have been interacting with your website or interacting with your e-commerce sites. So from this pattern recognition, they are going to output some level of predictive analysis where they're sharing with you literally, hey, for the last 6 months or for the last 3 months, this is what has been occurring with your audience. These are the topics they're interested in. These are the products they have interested in. These are the products they have even purchased, or services they have even purchased. So this is where I think you should put most of your targeted campaigns on. And from that, they help you do more personalization. So, again, once you enter a site, sometimes you get back some type of email that says, hey, you forgot this in your shopping cart, or this price has now been reduced. So this is the level of personalization that it would recommend and help you build within your marketing strategy, depending on the analysis that it has done before. And then there is a level of even what we call sentiment analysis. So it takes into consideration certain conditions that may be happening worldwide, or even some types of trends that will be happening, or seasonal outcomes that would be occurring at the time. So it will let you know, okay, if Christmas is coming up or Halloween is coming up, this is what we need to focus on because this is what we see the trends are. And then, of course, there's this continuous learning where it continues to improve and improve upon the information it is getting. So there's never a time when the system is feeling like, hey, I don't even know what to do here. I'm not sure where to go and what to focus on. The system is always looking to improve itself and get better in order to give you better analysis and insights so you can build your marketing strategies in a very targeted way to get the outcomes you wish, which are more sales and more repeat demand. So moving on, we want to understand and realize that AI can significantly enhance our process for crafting marketing campaigns. And these marketing campaigns can really resonate on a personal level with consumers. So now in this section, I want to walk you through a strategic map that shows you how AI can actually be used to help tailor your campaigns. So the first thing you should do when you're thinking of building any marketing campaign with AI, again, as I mentioned before, it's really about collecting your data and analyzing your data correctly. You must have that level of insights that allows you to understand what to expect with the different trends and where to go with what you need to do. So once you have that data collection analysis, your next step is to use that for predictive analytics and as well for creating personalized content. The goal is really now, today you have ChatGPT, so you don't even have to create the personalization content on your own. You literally have the ability to create that content in different forms and many different ways in a very short time using ChatGPT. So your third step is to use that to now create that dynamic content that you can use in different places at different times for different reactions. So think of it again, you know, I'm coming from the HubSpot background, so I've been very involved in creating campaigns for customers that have different triggers based on different actions. So today with AI, that is so much easier because you can decide, hey, if this customer clicked on this link, show them this ad. Or if they didn't purchase, send them this email, a reminder. So you get to create these levels of content creation, dynamic content that will help them really decide to take action on the next level. Now, one of the things that AI is really helping us do within our tailored marketing campaigns is to give more real-time interaction and engagement. So no longer is it required for us to wait for a while to do anything and wait 24 hours or when we come back to work to do anything. We have the ability today to make those engagements instantly and to make them more present for our consumers. I don't know about you, but for example, I love shopping in the middle of the night, right? So I'm going to be in my bed and before I sleep, I'm just browsing through Amazon or wherever trying to shop. Nobody wants to be working at 1 a.m. in the morning answering my questions. So having that level of real-time interaction and engagement on that platform helps me to purchase most things 1 a.m. in the night instead of like waiting for the next day and then changing my mind because I spoke to an agent who may have, you know, redirected me elsewhere, or I may have simply forgotten. So that real-time interaction is so important. And this is what AI helps us to do even better today. The next stage of your marketing campaign has to be a level of A/B testing and optimization. A/B testing is not new to us, but optimization is, because before, as marketers, we would spend a lot of time A/B testing different campaigns, and then we would take like 2-3 weeks to come back to the content and tweak that here and change that there, but it was never being done in a real lifetime. With AI, we can do that instantaneously as well. We can optimize our campaigns faster because we can use different trigger words or different themes or different phrases or even different designs in our content to awaken and to really get those consumers interacting with our content. The next phase is something we call hyper-targeted advertising. Now, this is a relatively new concept because it demands that the consumers are getting targeted with very, very, very personal ads. Now, later I will talk about, when I go through the case studies, I will tell you and show you the consumers who are doing that, the brands, sorry, that are doing that very well. But hyper-targeted advertising is really about making sure you can look at you, me, Resa, and say, okay, Resa, you should buy this product or these are the things you're looking for. It's not just looking at a Black female living in Europe and just show them everything like that. No, they're looking at what I, Resa Gooding, really need and will make sure that I see those relevant products. So you can use AI today to get that level of hyper-targeted advertising for your consumers. The next step, as we mentioned, is about giving that sentiment analysis and doing the feedback processing. So you have a time to look at the data again, check what's happening, and use that information to do some customer journey mapping and figure out what are the better ways to do better personalized recommendations. So once you have that information, you're able to see, hey, this consumer likes reading books on biographies. So let's make sure that her mapping, we notice that every time she reads this type of book, she buys 3 more books. So let's make sure we are showing her 3 more relevant books in that category, so she will continue buying books in this category. Or let's now show her the books in Audible format, or let's show her the books in Kindle format, so she has more options to purchase books in other formats. So this is where, you know, when you do that very hyper-targeted advertising and you have that seamless transition into the sentiment analysis, you're able to get the feedback to build customer journey maps that gets you and your consumers to the place you want them to be. So use this sort of mind map to really make sure that you are doing all of these stages when you're building out your campaigns with AI. So now I'd like to spend some time really kind of talking about some of the companies that I think do personalization very well. Most of these companies are very familiar to us. We use 1 or 2 of them at least every single day, if not every week. And what they're very, very good at, just, you know, I remembered last year, at the end of the year last year, Spotify sent me a summary of all the music I listened to, what were my favorite songs, how many times I listened to these songs, how many, you know, it was crazy, the level of personalization they gave me. And it was like a scorecard of how I used Spotify for that year. I was so impressed that I said to myself, I want to see what I'm going to be doing this year. So I don't listen to any music on any other platform or do anything on any other platform except Spotify, because I'm challenging myself to either listen to more meditative music, as well as listen to more books and podcasts as well on Spotify. So here I am being, you know, ignited by the data I got last year, which was super personalized to me, to build a better experience for myself this year as I go forward and set better intentions as I go forward. So we see these brands understood it, and these brands are the ones that really focus on giving us very good B2C experiences. But I know some of us listening today are like, okay, Resa, Amazon is amazing. They've been doing it forever. They have all the technology. They could do this. And when you're shopping, it's easy to do B2C, this level of AI personalization, right? Because they have so much data from what they're doing and from what they're using. So what about me, who run a B2B company and I am trying to attract business consumers? How can I really benefit? How are other companies really using AI for better personalization? So what I want to share here is really the opportunities that you can use AI as a B2B company. The first one is in personalized ad targeting, okay? We are very good at B2B companies of going down to, like, on LinkedIn, sourcing different personas that we think would be interested in our product, and then sending them these annoying messages that most people aren't really interested in receiving. So how could you as a B2B company improve on that process? The first thing is about doing better ad targeting, right? So yes, you can still download those lists, or you can still create those level of personas, because you do need them to even produce the ads that you need and to get them in the system. But instead of sending them the messages, how about building better targeted ads that invite them to click on it instead, that invite them to want to hear from you instead? Because not everyone with the same job title is interested in your product necessarily. And sometimes you are missing out on people with specific titles that may be interested, but you did not capture. So you would need to, like, find a way instead to really use personalization in your ad campaigns first, to attract those people and get them into your funnel. The other opportunity for B2B companies is really about doing a personalized website. One of the things I loved about HubSpot, because not even WordPress at the time could have done it, and HubSpot was doing it like almost 5 years or more now, is helping companies build personalized websites. So if you had an ad and this customer clicked on a specific ad or specific link and it landed on your website, they shouldn't all land to the same homepage. And if they land to the same homepage, the text could be a little bit more personalized to what the experience was prior coming to your website. So in HubSpot, for example, you're able to do that. You can actually have a link, have a customer click on the link, they come to your website, and they will see the exact same message they saw on that ad in your website, or you can change it to something similar. But the point is the experience transfers, so they don't see the exact same thing that every homepage of every website has. So here's your opportunity as a B2B customer to be very much more targeted in how you are giving that website experience. Websites need to be more dynamic today, and here's your opportunity to be more dynamic. The other opportunity is, again, with your content, right? So as you know, and as we're speaking, you can actually send out different emails based on different content. Now, my job here is not to promote HubSpot, okay? But because this is my most familiar experience, I can share with you that we do have even smart content in our email systems to help you actually create that level of personalization content quite quickly. So you don't have to write 10 ads. You just have to be able to change the subject lines in each of those ads. Each of the emails that you would want to send out. You can change a fraction of the email or certain things in that email. And depending again on the action the person took on your form or in a previous email or on your website, they will get those personalized emails because you've already identified them in a specific segment that would help them to get that specific email content. So again, you have the opportunity to think about how to use AI. And I believe more and more platforms will come out with this level of technology to help you be more personalized. But the point is right now that most of you businesses out there who are B2B especially are using one of these types of platforms, HubSpot, Salesforce, MailChimp, any of those platforms. And if you dig deep enough, you may find the personalization in any of them. But I know for sure you can find and do half of these level of things in HubSpot that can really change the way you look at how you're going to work and communicate with your consumers. So as we come to a close here, I want to spend some time talking about what would be the future trends of personalization. And although we cannot really predict everything, I'm not a seer, I'm not able to see into the future, but we can easily realize that, as we make advancements in AI, there will be some level of personalization that will continue to be challenging, but there will be certain trends and certain technologies that will continue to shape the future of marketing. So I'm just going to go through with you now some possible trends that I see will be happening and improving for AI in the future where it relates to personalization. The first one is around natural language processing, NLP, and conversational marketing. I do believe we would see more enhanced AI-powered chatbots and more virtual assistants working with our customers, from B2B companies and B2C companies. We would see that they would have more sophisticated interactions with us. We will not miss really talking to a human unless it really needs an individualized attention. But today, you can see that even again with Amazon, when you lose your package or you want to get more information about something, you generally talk to a chatbot first before they even let you talk to a human. So I do see that improving as businesses look to figure out how to give more of an advanced and sophisticated customer experience with less human intervention. I also think that as we progress, we will see as well more information and more AI-generated content and creative assistance, which means that we are going to see the opportunity for marketers like ourselves really looking how to generate content faster and much more personalized by using things like ChatGPT, etc. We would see that there would be more personalized ads, more personalized articles, even your social media posts. Could you imagine seeing a social media post written just for you? This is where I think this is going to go. It wouldn't be like one generic post that everybody sees and everybody has to read and suffer through, but there will be more personalized posts for us within this level of content that we have available to us. One of the areas I think, that has been up and coming even before ChatGPT, but took a little slower time to come to reality is VR and augmented reality, right? We will see more integration with this in the near future because we will have the ability to enhance personalized experiences using VR and AR environments. So marketers will be able to leverage that level of AI to tailor virtual experiences based on consumer preferences. So think about seeing that lovely red dress you want to wear for your next Christmas party in Zara, and not even having to go to Zara and line up in a long line for a fitting room to see if that dress will fit you. Instead, you can just put on some glasses, try on the dress, and see it in your home environment, how that dress fits and how it looks on you before you purchase it online. And you never even have to step into a store or interact with anybody to purchase that. So I think this is the level of, technology we would see for enhancing our experience as shoppers. When it comes to emotion and sentiment analysis, I do believe, I don't want to say AI will be able to tell us when we are crying, but I do believe they will be able to understand what our emotions are at any point in time to be able to tailor messaging and campaigns towards us. So for example, if we are watching a lot of sad news or sad articles or reading more sad books, or even like, today, you're chatting with your friend on WhatsApp and you're sharing something sad that happened to you, I do believe after that interaction, the AI would be able to show you things to either perk you up and help you, get in a better mood, or really show you ads and stuff that will help you in that specific environment. So there will be some level of connection to the types of words you're using to determine the type of feeling and mood you're in, to show you ads that will actually be focused on either keeping you in that mood because you're going to spend more money, or helping you to improve and get out of that mood because there's an opportunity for you to be more mentally stable, or mentally, comfortable as you feel in a bad way. And even opposite as well, right? Even if you're happy, if you're in a joyful mood, AI would know that and make you do more joyful things. Go buy cake, go have parties, do something. So show you more ads to tell you, hey, this is going on. If you're in a good mood, go celebrate here, etc. One of the things too, though, that I think we would see for personalization, especially in AI, would be around data privacy and ethical AI use. This is still a point of contention, as we always know technology is faster than our laws, but we will have to have some level of advancement with how we use people's data, and marketers will have to ensure that they have more transparency and more accountability in how they're using AI-driven strategies. So if we want to continue building consumers' trust and making sure that we are handling their data in responsible ways, we would have to prove that through our ethical management of their data and the way we help and show that we are not misusing the information they have given us. So we would have to see more responsibility around that as we continue. So at this point, it's important for me to stress that although we kind of go through this phase of realizing that technology is amazing and that technology can do so much for us, we have to remember that at the end of the day, we are still humans, and there's nothing to replace us as humans, because we are the ones who can react in real time to a real situation that suddenly changes on us. Technology, as we just explained, needs history, needs time. It could do it faster, but it still needs that data to process to be able to tell you what to do next. But a human is the only thing that can say to you, hey, I just saw that you were happy 1 minute ago. Now you're not that happy. What's up? How can I help? What do you need? So a human is the one who needs to help you change faster. So even in your marketing strategies, as you try to build those long-lasting relationships with your consumers, you cannot forget the human element that is needed when you are interacting with your customers. So in my last minutes, I just want to spend some time talking about how AI and the human touch will become will become totally integrated in order for us to build impactful campaigns. My advice to you is to first always check that your AI generated content is maintaining a human-like tone and there's empathy in it. Don't just take it for granted, whatever ChatGPT has produced for you or any other tool has produced for you. Take the time to have a human look over the content to make sure it resonates with empathy to your audience. The other thing is, as much as we would love those agents, all those virtual agents and customer service agents to be available 24 hours a day, and therefore tempted to be using AI to do most of those bot conversations, we do need human agents. I'm telling you, a lot of times I meet up, I call different organizations and I need to talk to someone. They just don't get me, those bots. So you and I know that experience, and we therefore need to make sure we are supplementing our bots with human agents. We also need to make sure we are involving creativity, human creativity, and the storytelling process to really produce the engaging and relatable content, because it's not always clear that they will be able to do it as well as a human can. We also need to even use humans to interpret the data, because sometimes what the data shows us is not always what is existing today. So we need that intuition of the human being to look at and say, hey, this trend is happening, so let's take this into consideration before we act in that specific way. We also have to make sure that even though we have amazing experiences and we see our sales are plummeting and going through the roof, we need human testimonials to build that trust and to build that experience for the future customers. So you need to make sure you're incorporating that in your marketing strategies, and don't make it up. There's no reason to lie about it, but you have the ability to at least get humans involved in giving you real life testimonials so your customers can see that you are a real business. Another point is really about ensuring that your marketing efforts convey empathy and emotional intelligence. So don't underestimate the need for that. And the last 2 points is really about talking about how it is we can use human insights to adapt our strategies in response to a specific customer need or preference. And as well, how do we keep the humans involved to make sure that we are being transparent in the use of the consumer data and ethical AI practices. So as we wrap up today, I just want to remind you that if there's anything you take away from today's conversation, is that AI is wonderful and available for you to do an improved marketing strategies, whether you're a B2B or B2C company. But you must remember that as great as AI is, you need the human touch to make sure that you are held accountable and you are transparent with how you're using people's data. So thank you for today's session. If you would like to connect with me, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I can be found just by my name, Resa Gooding, and I appreciate your attention and your time today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Resa. That's very interesting, and it's great to have your own experience, real experience, to see what works and what doesn't.
Thank you.
I was thinking if anybody has any question, maybe could put it in the chat. Okay.
I think it's clear. We don't need any more questions answered.
No, actually, I do have a question for you. Maybe you can just on that. Obviously, collecting the data is key to make sure you understand what the person is wants. It can be more difficult. Is that something you have found? Because now with Apple has made some restriction on their software.
Yes.
Even Google Chrome, very not long ago, give more privacy settings to the end user. Is that something that you found a bit more difficult?
I do think, yes, it will have some impact, but I do think it will be like in waves, right? They are making these level of restrictions now because the consumers are demanding it. But consumers are also demanding better service, better personalization, better this. So as the laws catch up and as they understand a little bit better how to manage that level of data transparency, I do think they would relax some of that. So you would be able to use that personalization better. But the trick about us as humans, sometimes we are confusing ourselves, right? Because one way we want something and we want all these restrictions, but yet we want the freedom and we want to be able to get the best of everything. So at the end of the day, we have to realize we are making that choice, and we have to, for businesses to serve us better, they need our data in some level. And where you think you're hiding your data, you're actually exposing yourself in other ways. And that's how they can still capture it. So, you know, I have friends who say the only way that they will get out of this internet is not to be in anything online. You have to throw away your smartphone, throw away everything, don't interact with any technology, and then you're safe. So go to the forest and live, and that's fine. But once you're out here, you will have your data exposed to some level. It's just really hoping that us as companies would be very responsible with that data and not overuse and overexpose us.
Yeah, I suppose your point that, you know, you need, as a company, you need to show that you are using our data responsibly. That would be very important area.
Exactly. So that's what I think would help.
Interesting. All right. We're a little bit over time.
Yes.
If there is any question. Okay, I think you should get a survey when you close this.
I will. All right.
And that would be interesting to get all the feedback. But thank you so much, Resa, and that's very interesting. And looking forward to the next session as well next week.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the time and your attention. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye.